The following clip is from a Quran chapter analysis video I made that is a part of my broader, in-depth Studying the Study Quran playlist. Whether you are a Christian, Jew, Muslim, atheist, etc., I believe you will learn a lot about Islam and religion in general from watching this series. So please feel free to check out the full playlist by clicking on the end screen or the link in the description for it. Or if you're just interested in seeing the video that this clip was taken from, I'll provide a link and an end screen for it as well. But without further ado, here is the clip you actually wanted to watch when you clicked on my face. Enjoy. The next passage that I would like to read and discuss is verses 42 to 44, and I would also like to read the associated footnote with these verses because I think it just adds a whole lot of context and really explains what these verses mean in a way that I just don't think I can do off the top of my head. We have indeed sent messengers unto communities before thee, and we seized them with misfortune and hardship, that they might humble themselves. If only when our might came upon them, they had humbled themselves. But rather their hearts hardened, and Satan made all they used to do seem fair unto them. So when they forgot that whereof they had been reminded, we opened unto them the gates of all things, till, as they exulted in what they were given, we seized them suddenly, whereupon they came to despair. And now let's read the footnote. The Quran mentions misfortune and hardship together elsewhere as means by which human beings are tested. Many commentators suggest that the first refers to loss of wealth in straitened circumstances, and the second to illness and physical suffering. Encounters with both good and evil serve as tests of faith, since ease may make people overly exultant or forgetful, while adversity can make them despairing or ungrateful. Tests of adversity or ease are sometimes mentioned, as here, in connection with the sending of prophets and messengers. The circumstances of either hardship or an alternation between hardship and ease serve to deepen the spiritual test brought by the prophet. In verse 43, when people fail to respond to such tests of adversity with humility, their hearts are hardened, while Satan causes their actions to seem fair unto them, so that they see their evil actions as good. Although this is a satanic tactic, the Quran also suggests that this delusion is a general human tendency. They forgot that whereof they had been reminded, that is, they forgot the lesson they should have learned from their misfortune and hardship regarding their utter dependency on God, and they forgot the message brought by the messenger. In response, God did not send immediate punishment, but rather opened unto them the gates of all things, removing their suffering and granting them ease and prosperity. This divine interweaving of hardship and ease is likened by some to the actions of a caring father, who is by turns harsh and gentle with his child, seeking to cultivate moral character. Alternately, God's temporarily granting ease to those who reject his messengers and allow their hearts to be hardened rather than humbled by adversity can be understood as a means by which they are lured further toward the world. A hadith states, "When you see that God has given much to one of his servants in this world, despite his disobedience, it is only as a temptation." Like those before them, they exulted, thinking they had been blessed and that their actions were therefore fair, in the sense of beautiful and good. Came to despair renders mubilism, which also connotes those in a state of regret or those who are dumbfounded, unable to speak in defense of themselves. It is said to be related to the name Iblis, a name of Satan in the Quran. Their sense of despair, when God seized them suddenly, was heightened because of the contrast with the ease and prosperity they had enjoyed previously, just as Iblis's banishment is more dramatic in contrast to the nearness to God he had previously enjoyed. The overall effect of these verses, and others like them, is to encourage detachment in relation to adversity and prosperity in this world, avoiding both bitterness and self-satisfaction, and to engender an awareness that the vicissitudes of earthly life are merely a divine test and do not necessarily reflect either divine pleasure or dissatisfaction. This in the Quran is pointing out that God may actually test people by giving them the good life for a period of time. Like, that's just so interesting because a lot of people
do whenever they get the good life. Maybe they grow up religious, they suffer through hardship, and then they, end up being successful in life. A lot of people, when that success comes, that's whenever they start to think, oh, I don't need to pay attention to the spiritual life anymore. You know what? I never needed that, actually. Like, a lot of people, they do, whenever they live in times of ease, whenever they live in times of prosperity, they do begin to think that they don't need God anymore. God not only tests people by sending them hardships to test their faith, but also he tests them by sending them prosperity to see if they will remain near to him whenever they're given everything they want. And that's just such a fascinating idea. Like, I don't know if I've ever heard, I guess, that idea articulated elsewhere, that, like, prosperity is a test of faith.